Welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo. My name is Gabe Ripley, and I am the host of which is this What's Coming Up. Very happy to have Nick Mitchell. He's an amazing caricature artist and illustrator, and we got into it the right way with an amazing crew of tattooers down in Richmond at Loose Screw. Anyways, we'll talk about him during this show. Right now, I'm going to introduce the Reinventing the Tattoo community. Not exactly sure where you're beaming in from or if you're watching a replay, but the best way to always get a hold of all of this live programming is at the Reinventing the Tattoo community. It can be found in either of the app stores, either the Google Android store or the Apple store, or you can go straight to community.reinventingthetattoo.com. It's a free community. We have streams like this going on all of the time. There is also a subscriber base, which is the beating heart of the Reinventing community. They have exercises with Guy, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's see, the last couple of TattooNOW episodes you can catch up on. We had Veronica from Los Angeles doing cosmetic tattooing, which was pretty amazing. She's got a really great story about how tattooing helped her reinvent herself and helped people with positive mindsets. It's amazing. And then also, let's see, Paul Talbot, rock and roller from the UK. If you bear with a couple of the glitches, he's amazing. I think he got into tattooing in the 80s. He's the host of that tattoo show. Anyways, those are some of the back episodes. You can get all of the replays for all of the reinventing shows on the YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and find Reinventing the Tattoo, or you can go to the podcast store and do a search for Reinventing the Tattoo, please leave your positive reviews there so that they bump us up in the rankings. Even though reinventing is, not ancient, but it's been evolving for a very long time. These new outlets are kind of new. They're less than 6 months old, so those reviews help. Constructive criticism, feel free to send to us, management at reinventingthetattoo.com, or if you're interested in sponsoring the show or bringing us to an event. We're down. Anyways, there's all sorts of shows. We've got art jams, drawing groups, interviews, panels, webinars, and they are all on demand. There's so many rabbit holes. If you're not sure what to watch, you can always go to reinventing247.com. And we have, I think there's anywhere between 2 and 4 channels that are always replaying at any given time. So if you don't know what to watch, you could just go there. Perfect for the front room of the tattoo shops or any real front rooms. Also, if your client is squirming, sometimes putting a good stream helps calm down. You could also enter for the soon-to-be famous Reinventing the Tattoo sample packs. We're kind of calling them goodie bags, but they're better than that. They've got like real samples of raw pigments, of Cheyenne cartridges. There's some t-shirts, stickers. I've got some Dermalize here that I need to ship out. So the Dermalize gets in those packages. You'll never know what you'll get, but if you go to Reinventing 247, scroll down to the bottom, let us know what studio address you have, and we will send out those sample packs to you. Let's see, it looks like, is this working? This is working on the YouTubes. This is on both channels. Chat disconnected. Oh, successfully reconnected. This is going out on the Facebooks. This is great. Let everybody know that this is working in the chat rooms where you're beaming in from. And you're going to be pretty excited to see Nick's work if you're not familiar with it. It's great. Allie says hi, super excited. Matt Jackson says hi, guys. Awesome. Okay. I need to get back to my script here. Sorry, I'm doing as best as I can for not being a pro. Weekly staples for the Reinventing the Tattoo community. We have many regular shows that are happening. Let me see if we can do this from the start, from the top. Sundays at 1 p.m. is a Reinventing drawing group with Jason Leeser. And it's at 1 p.m. every Sunday, Eastern Standard Time. And Reinventing drawing groups are designed for people to beam into. So if you are a tattooer and you're doing some of your homework, or an apprentice type, then you can catch the Zoom link. You zoom in. Sometimes we have anywhere between 4 and 12 people beaming in from around the world. It's great. 1 p.m. is a Reinventing drawing group. 9 p.m. on Sundays is the Tattoo Weekly. Lauren Worldwide, Jake Meeks from the Fireside Tattoo Network, and I go over the previous week's streams. We have so many awesome things like this going on that we pick out some of the highlights and talk about some of the future things. We have some topics that we discuss. The Tattoo Weekly is every 9 o'clock on Sundays. Eastern Standard. Mondays at 9 o'clock in the morning, we have a Reinventing drawing group. It's great Monday mornings. Jake Meeks has been hosting them. We are in a bit of a transition, so if you're a Reinventing member who wants to wake up at 9 o'clock every Monday morning Eastern, or if you're a European and you want to do it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, then yeah, either way it happens regardless of who's leading. 9 o'clock on Monday mornings, we have a Reinventing drawing group. Mondays at 9 o'clock at night are the subscriber exercises with Guy Aitchison, so you beam in with Guy himself, and he will critique your homework from the week before, and then leads everybody through thumbnails and through a weekly exercise. It's amazing to watch those subscribers grow. It is $300 a year, well worth every penny. You get the whole kit and caboodle of the course and the videos, but you also get these Monday exercises. But I'm talking about schedules, not courses. Tuesdays at 10 o'clock as a Reinventing group with Ricardo. Again, everyone's encouraged to beam in 10 o'clock every Tuesday morning. Wednesdays at 12 noon is the TattooNOW show. That's what you're actually watching right now. Thursdays at 12 noon, the Tattoo Collecting Podcast with Fawn Baker and Jordan Rookus. They interview tattoo collectors. It's amazing to watch that because even though I've been around tattoos for almost 3 decades now, it's amazing to hear from other collectors and hear about their journeys and whatnot. And then Thursdays, I think it might actually be at 11 o'clock in the morning. Thursdays, there's also another apprentice or foundational drawing group with Kire. All skill levels are encouraged. All of those events can be found in the Reinventing the Tattoo app schedule. I'm going to talk about some real-world events, and then talk about our sponsors, and then I'll introduce Nick, and then we'll cut for a video. But yeah, this is fun. Okay, so real-world events, October 3rd to the 6th is Paradise BYOB. Bring your own brains, brushes, booze or bud, or berries if you're a vegan. We have lots of webcasting, lots of seminars. You can webcast everything if you want, or webcast, you can beam in. So if you're freaked out about all the variants and whatnot, or if you're not vaccinated and don't want to fight everybody, then yeah, beam in. It'd be great. If you do want to show up, we will have a limited amount of people in person. When we were creating this event, it was only 100 people per room with masks, so that's kind of what we're going to be presuming as we head into this craziness. But we'll see. So that's Jiminy Peak, October 3rd to the 6th. The lineup is stellar. I'm going to run the video, so I'm not going to plug it too hard here. November 12th to the 14th, we're headed to the Brussels Tattoo Convention. Nick Baxter, Ivana, and I will be doing some seminars. The Reinventing crew is coming over. We'll be hosting some meetups, some drawing groups, all that. So our European friends, hopefully we could all meet there and catch up. February 5th and the 6th is going to be a 2-day event at Hell City's HQ at True Tubes, Red Tree Tattoo in Columbus, Ohio. It's going to be art jam and very customer client focused on that Saturday the 5th, I think. And then Sunday is going to be a professional development day where we'll be in with Guy and have a whole round of things that we're putting together with Derb as we speak. May 20th to the 22nd is Hell City Columbus, hellcity.com. We will be there. Reinventing is going to have a pretty sweet setup, and Guy's always doing some sort of artsy thing. July 8th to the 10th is a Rock River Tattoo Art Expo outside of Chicago, tattooartexpo.com. Guy's going to have a whole theater hall. It's like a lecture hall. So we'll do a pretty cool Reinventing educational track there. We'll also have like 100 tattooers. The windows overlook the river. It's Cliff Breakers is the venue. Let's see, July 29th to the 31st, 2022 is the Rubber City Tattoo Invitational in Akron, Ohio. Tony Urbanek does the machine seminars. And then lastly, October 20th to the 23rd, 2022, this is next year, the Paradise Tattoo Gathering is going to return to Jiminy Peak for a Thursday to Sunday full-on tattoo gathering, tattoo convention. We'll go all crazy because it'll be 2022, and by then it'll be all good. Okay, this seems to be working for people. They're letting us know. Florida Territory says hello. Let's see, our Facebooks seem to be going full tilt. Okay, this is great. Our sponsors, real quick, courses.reinventingthetattoo.com is where you can get the Reinventing Canon. It's tons of videos. It contains all the replays of all the Monday exercises, And what was the book is now this big, massive online course. We have it in an online educational format. There's also courses from Andre Malcolm, BJ Betts, Bob Tyrrell. Actually, Nick is going to be doing a live one. A lot of the webinars, or all of the webinars that are being webcast out of the BYOB, will be going through courses.reinventingthetattoo.com. WorldTattooEvents.com is the most comprehensive event listings for tattoo conventions. I know I tried to copy it like 10 years ago, and after 3 days I was like, there's no fucking way I can copy all these events. Alex must not sleep. Literally, all he does is updates convention info, WorldTattooEvents.com, and it's updating near daily as we speak because the world of tattoo events is changing. InkjetStencils.com is one of our major sponsors. You can print out your tattoo reference. You do the reference on your iPad or your computer. You could adjust the reference accordingly to how you want it to print out, and then you can print out stencils straight from your eco-refillable Epson. And Inkjet Stencils has the paper and the inks, and lots of videos about how to make that work. Good for custom back pieces. They got oversized printers that do custom back pieces. I think Andre Malcolm will print them out for you, as well as hammering out flash and whatnot. And we'll be doing a benefit where they do up all the stencils for all the benefit designs. Pretty excited about that. Okay, rawpigments.co. Check them out. They've got acrylic-free pigments. They don't dry out in the cup. They are vegan-friendly. They're not vegan-free. They're vegan-full, vegan-friendly. Rawpigments.co. They've got lots of videos from their artists. Lauren's been doing some interviews on the Reinventing community also. DIARIES Pro in the United States, known as Dermalize around the world. They have a healing wrap that's designed to breathe. And so check it out. They've got, again, tons of videos on how to use it. Make sure you use it the right way. But again, if you're still using like cling wrap, that shit's designed to not breathe. Dermalize, DIARIES Pro in the United States. Thank you, international trademark laws. It will actually breathe. It's designed to breathe and heal those wounds. Anyways, check it out. Let's see, we've got TattooNOW. That's actually me. I do computer geek shit for tattooers, websites, search engine optimization, client relation management, CRM management. If you are looking to, again, push your internet stuff to the next level, again, I'm pretty much done with reinventing for a couple months, getting back to my TattooNOW clients, and I'm taking on some new clients. So if you have a website with us, we can get it updated. If you don't have a website with us, you can. If you just want us to do like a consultation, I could do that too. TattooNOW.com. Last, but certainly not least, in fact, actually first, Guy Aitchison.com. Guy is the one who makes all of this happen. Is his spirit of education, inspiration, collaboration. He really appreciates everybody coming together to collaborate, inspire with each other. He encourages and loves all the participation. GuyAitchison.com, he's got all of his products. He's got his Biomech encyclopedia, some machines, all his DVDs, all that stuff. And, of course, want to thank some affiliates, Fireside Tattoo Network, the Apprenticeship Diaries. We've got some links on eco-friendly tattoosupplies.com. And, okay, so now I'm going to see, I'm driving some new software here, and let's see if I can get the split screen. Hey, Nick.
Hey.
How's it working? Oh, wow, okay. So,
good.
Thank you for joining. So you're beaming in from Richmond, Virginia. What's it? How's it down there? Is it wicked hot or?
Pretty hot outside. It's been in the 90s past few days.
Whew, fantastic. Well, one of the things I did always appreciate about the tattoo shop is there's a real good reason to make sure that's air conditioned. But so now you're working at Loose. Let's just get right into this. Actually, no, let's not get into this. Let's do a quick introduction from you. Let people know where you're tattooing, what types of tattoos you like to do. Then we'll take a quick break with one of these videos that I have lined up. I think I'm going to do the Paradise one that you'll be teaching at. And then I'll have my script in front of me so we can get into the interview for real. So, but yeah, let's get started. Where can people find you, and what type of tattoos do you like to do? What are your favorite types of clients?
All right. Well, I'm Nick Mitchell. I'm tattooing at Loose Screw in Richmond, Virginia. Specialize in new school, specifically caricatures, or pretty much anything that has a face. I mean, animals, whatever. I'll make fun of all of it. I've been doing caricatures for the past 20 years. And yeah, you can find my artwork on Instagram, Nick Mitchell Hates You, and yeah, on the Loose Screw Tattoo website.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to run the Paradise BYOB ad because it's actually what's helping make all of this stuff happen. It's about 2 or 3 minutes. Got a great song though, because the band that's playing is one of my favorites. I don't think you could hear us, but we'll try to be quiet while we do this and see you on the other side for this full interview. And I have all of Nick's tattoos and pictures fired up here so that you're in for a visual treat. Okay, here's this video. Let's see how this works. Hopefully this works. Are you ready for Paradise? It's been a long time, but I think that we are all ready to return to Jiminy Peak, October 3rd to the 6th. That's right, it's a Sunday to a Wednesday, but hey, this is definitely no time to get normal. This unique event is going to bring out dozens of artists that will be creating and selling artwork, tons of seminars, discussion panels, even a drunk critique, a live one against our better judgment, and a musical performance by Vapors of Morphine.
Black clock and ostrich, stick my head in the sand. Black and ostrich, stick my head in the sand. Woman out for favor will take me for a man. I'll act like a gopher, dig a hole in the ground. Act like a gopher and dig a hole in the ground.
A lot has changed since the first Paradise, but the essence of these events stay the same. We are gathering for the inspiration, for the camaraderie amongst like minds, for the sharing, for the collaboration. Please join us, create some art, share some inspiration in nature, free of distractions, free of the scene, free of drama. Just an art tattoo paradise.
Act like a possum hanging from a tree.
BYOB is brought to you by TattooNOW, which has produced or co-produced the Paradise Tattoo Gathering, the Paradise Artist Retreat, the Worldwide Tattoo Conference, the Emerald Isle Tattoo Sessions, the Venetian Tattoo Gathering, and so many more events. It's kind of hard to keep track of them all. This is going to be a unique event. Paradise BYOB. You are invited to bring your own brains, your own brushes, your own beats, your own booze. Bring your own berries if you're vegan. Please come on out and share, contribute, and let's create art. And on the last day, there'll be an open house, so art collectors are encouraged to come out and check out some of the unbelievable masterpieces that will be available for sale. Check it out. And definitely make sure, if you're going to be there just for one day, Monday, Vapors of Morphine will be playing at 7 o'clock at night, and you will not want to miss it. ParadiseBYOB.com to get your Artist Weekend tickets, to register for the extra seminars, to get your Studio 5 packs for the price of 4, to rent an artist or vendor space. ParadiseBYOB.com. Okay, well, Nick, I definitely want to thank you for bringing your energies up to the BYOB. You know, you have such a rich background artistically already. Having you inspire more tattooers is going to be great. But we'll talk a little bit about the seminar and all of that kind of on the tail end. There's a lot of interesting things that you have going on before we even start plugging, the seminars and stuff. First off, I still hate you. I spent the last 15 years trying to tell my daughter that hate was too powerful of a word to give power over somebody else. I don't want you to hate me.
I don't hate anybody. It was just one of those things that I went with Nick Mitchell hates you. I just thought it sounded funny.
The contrast has been a pleasant surprise. You've always been, a sparkling personality, but it does fit, with the zombies and stuff. So I just have, the pictures kind of lined up. I'm not even sure what order they're in. But why don't we start off, you chat a little bit about some of your history as an illustrator, as a caricature artist, and then, I'll show off some of your pictures and we can see where the conversation leads us.
Yeah, I mean, as far as caricatures go, I got my start in Tampa, Florida, Busch Gardens. I was working for a contracting company out of that park, running caricatures and face painting, all the artsy stuff inside the theme park, pretty much. And just fell in love with it. I just fell in love with the ability that you have to exaggerate and push people's features to the limit and still magically make it look like them. So I did the theme parks for a number of years, and then stepped down and started doing special events, everything from weddings to the Super Bowl, the birthday parties, just different special events hopping around town.
And so, how old were you? Like, what age ranges were you for the when you were doing the caricatures at the amusement parks and stuff? Was that like one of your first jobs, or?
Yeah, first job as an artist. So that was the age of 19 to about 27, 28. I was the assistant manager there. And from there, went ahead and hopped on to doing the special events and then zombie caricatures later on. So caricatures have been, nonstop since, even with the tattoo. I'm trying to incorporate more of the caricatures in my tattoo work now.
Sure. And what mediums were you doing the caricatures in?
In the theme parks, it was permanent marker, black permanent marker, and colored pencils to color with. Same thing with the zombie caricatures as well. And then now I'm starting to do digital.
Cool. I just want to have people are saying nice things in the chat rooms. I guess I just want to make sure that while these things are going out, everyone's hearing everything, because we are on a new setup. But it seems so far so good. Cool. And so now, did you find that those mediums, that marker medium, because is it less forgiving? I mean, obviously, if you put a mark down on a tattoo, like you're putting it down on someone's body. Was marker a good training for you, or?
I think so. I think it was a good setup. I mean, toward the end, I was using a brush tip marker, which is very pressure sensitive. So you have to kind of get used to holding your hand up, because if you push too hard, that tip's going to just be flimsy. So I think that helped with keeping needle depth when it came to doing line work on actual skin. And just that one-shot deal. It's like, that's it. There's no erasing. There's no going back. So I mean, it kind of went parallel as well when it came to tattooing. And as far as like coloring, when it comes, I don't know, it's crazy. I think when it comes to working with a dry medium and working on skin, it's like a mix of both wet and dry medium together. So I mean, it's you put it down into the skin, it's permanently there, it's there right away, but you're still able to work with that water pigment, so it's kind of like a weird middle ground. But I think starting off with colored pencil definitely, helped bridge a gap to transition into tattooing.
Awesome. And I imagine that just doing like art like every day as your job must have been, I mean, it clearly, when people are like apprenticing, and I guess we're not even getting to the point where you're apprenticing to tattoo, but like when people are doing their first jobs, you could tell, like, same thing with musicians and some other arts, there's jobs that are like supporting the art, and then there's jobs that are just like way out in left field and have nothing, really to contribute to tattooing. But as a caricature artist, you must have learned like not only how to draw every day, but how to kind of draw other people. And like, well, what are some of those skills that you learned in that age that helps you eventually later on make that transition?
Well, I think one thing that really helped is you're just drawing every day, like you said. You're drawing every day. You're drawing from life. You're looking at people and objects and animals that are in front of you and turning it into something cartoony and new school. I mean, that's exactly what I wanted to do when I decided I wanted to tattoo, was keep into the cartoony kind of style. But yeah, it definitely helped just drawing from life and being able to exaggerate off of it. Get that real light source, that real contrast that's in front of you, and just stretch it and manipulate it into something completely, fun to look at.
And how many caricatures would you do a day?
Oh man, I mean, back in those days, we were pretty much timed when it came to caricatures, because it's a business and they want you to make as much money as possible, so they would kind of crack the whip on you to get you to draw a black and white face in 3 minutes, colored face with 5 minutes.
Bam.
Full body doing something was 10 minutes. Naturally, once I became, more part of the management side, we kind of slowed that down a little bit and focused more on the art when it came to the staff, and try to make it more fun artistically versus just a numbers game. The company was kind of, the way they were running it.
Sure. I mean, just out of curiosity, did you find that when you did slow people down and for a little bit of a higher quality, did those numbers actually dip, or was it negligible?
No, I think it actually boosted. I mean, during those years, I'm pretty sure, as far as I remember, we were beating budgets and we were doing great because it made it more fun. Like, I would play a game with my artists. I got the idea from another artist, Joe Bloom, where I would have a jack 'em up contest. So I'd show up to the stand, and it's pretty much whoever had the most ridiculous exaggerations, push as hard as you can. And whoever had the best caricatures at the end of the day would win. You just get get that recognition, and it just kind of boosted up worker morale and made it more fun. To where now, man, we're doing a lot better that way, I think.
Awesome, yeah, I bet. It's fun that the contrast with, with tattooing, right, where you're, the amount of times that you have to, the freedom to like go crazy compared to, a medium where you're kind of encouraged, to be wild and crazy. It's pretty fun. Do you find that you still like that? Now, all of a sudden, flashing forward to now, we'll get back. But do you find that you do that now? And I mean, has that helped you with your tattoos? Because tattoos, obviously they look very unique and they're exaggerated, but like that ability to, like, clearly you're thinking of stuff and exaggerating beyond the point of what would be tattooable, I imagine.
Sorry, I lost the question there.
Oh, I don't know. Mostly it was a matter of maybe if you want to talk about how being able to work in a medium where you can explore and go wild and crazy, and literally the goal is to go as far out as you can, compared to like tattooing where you want to be way more responsible with, the medium. You need to be more responsible with a medium.
Yeah, the medium. I mean, there's more planning, of course, but in that drawing time that I do for the tattoos, that's where all my exaggeration and fun really happens. So I'm still able to have that push and try to do things. Again, there is another person involved, the client. It's going to be on them. So but for the most part, they're pretty open to what I want to do.
Awesome.
Especially when it comes to caricatures and celebrities and stuff like that. But yeah, I think a lot of times they come to me for that. They want that kind of exaggerated push style, something that's outside the box that not everybody's going to have.
Awesome. And now I guess we can transition into this as we're talking about clients. Now, was that always like that? During your apprenticeship? Did Jesse? Well, I guess let's try to get into that a little bit. So you did a couple of years. So you did a bunch of the early 20s, kind of doing the caricature circuit. Now you were also hitting conventions at that time.
Yeah, once I left theme parks and then I stopped, I was doing more of the events. My buddy Sean Gardner is also a tattoo artist. He was doing zombie caricatures, and him and I pretty much just teamed up.
Sean Gardner's awesome.
Yeah, yep. So him and I both own zombie caricatures, and we traveled around, starting off with Comic-Cons and horror conventions first. And then, once we started doing tattoo conventions, that definitely changed everything for us.
Like how so? Were people? How so?
Well, I mean, more theme parks than anything. When you're doing caricatures there, you get a lot of rejection. A lot of people not liking it. A lot of people taking it personal. Because you're making fun of their face, in front of them, and then they're paying for it. So, it would rub people wrong a lot of times. But in the convention world, especially the tattoo world, tattoo artists know what we're doing. They understand that it's supposed to be jacked up and funny and exaggerated. So they would definitely be all about it and encourage it. To where, we felt like, oh man, now we can actually be the artists that we want to be. We don't have to, bend over backwards for anybody. Just do what we want.
Yeah, awesome. This is pretty amazing work. What medium is this in? It's all digital. Yeah, that's great. And about how many hours do you put in this? Now, are you doing this in about 30 minutes? Yeah, cool. This is great. And so you survived, obviously, the pandemic. I guess, do you want to talk a little bit about anything that helped you survive it, or how did that roll there at Loose Screw? Awesome. Sweet. So let's get into the let's get back to how you're doing the tattoo conventions, and all of a sudden people are like, oh wait, this shit's awesome, not like, why are you making fun of me? And so then tattooers were, so first you're like doing just like a normal gig, right, where you're doing caricatures of them and of their families, of their kids, and then you were getting tattooed, or I guess what led to the decision to go to the tattoo conventions to begin with?
We were actually working at a horror convention, and there was a tattoo artist in the booth next to us. And I feel like I forget his name. It's been so long since I've seen him. But he was mentioning tattoo conventions, saying that, man, you guys need to go. You guys would kill it if you went to these events. It's the right type of crowd. You guys are doing zombies, and it's all gross. They would love it. And, we chewed on it for a little while, and actually, I think, if I remember right, it took us losing out on a convention because we waited too long to book into it. We had nothing else happening that weekend. So we decided to give, a local tattoo convention a shot when we were living up in PA.
Nick.
Yeah.
Sounds like your audio might be out.
Uh-oh.
Can people still hear you? Can you say something?
Hey guys, how's it going? Can you hear me?
This is 1 minute ago, so let's just give it a little bit of time here. The beauties of doing these things live. Let's see, Gabe, you stopped his audio? No, I don't think I stopped his audio.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I can't hear you, and we are recording, so let's carry on with the story, and we'll see if hearing nothing.
Huh. But yeah, sorry, I forgot where I left off.
So you're hitting up the. Goddamn! Now my light's flickering. Okay, there we go. So you're at these conventions and you're doing the characters of people. What led to going to the tattoo conventions? Were you getting tattooed or?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, I wasn't getting tattooed yet. We were doing conventions, like I said, the horror conventions and Comic Cons, and we were working a horror convention, and there was a tattoo artist in the booth beside us, and he was recommending that we got to do tattoo conventions. That we're doing the horror stuff, the zombies, they're gonna love it. And they kept talking about it all weekend. So what actually happened is we lost out on a weekend. Working a horror con, we waited too long to book in. So we had an open weekend, and we found a local tattoo convention, decided to give it a shot, and we loved it. We fell in love with the community. We fell in love with just the scene. It was just wonderful. Felt like we really fit in, and we just kept rocking those ever since. Never looked back.
Awesome. Yeah, the tattoo scene really is a very unique art culture. One of the things. Oh man, now my light's fucking strobe lighting it up here. Let me get myself out of here so I'm not a distraction. One of the things. Oh no, there we go. Okay. Looks like the audio is working fine now too. Everyone says it's all good.
Good.
There's a lot of illustrators that'll be like working really hard, and it's obviously it's a very tough gig to try to make a living at it. And they see tattooers who can get a pretty good price, especially if they're really artistic. And they're like, I could draw better than that, or I could paint better than that. I'm just going to tattoo. But then all of a sudden they're like, tattooing on people, and the medium's kind of crazy, and people are crazy, and you can't really just start off doing masterpieces like this. You have to start off doing smaller pieces so you can see how the skin reacts. It's pretty amazing to see that you had those rendering skills before, but you were able to make the transition into tattooing. So clearly that means you must have had a special teacher.
Oh yeah.
So how did that come about? How did you catch up with Jesse? Is that at a tattoo convention maybe?
It was. Technically I was Daniel Farron's apprentice. Sean and I were working, I think, Virginia Beach or either Hampton Roads. There's a tattoo convention out there. And Sean already had an apprenticeship. He was going to go down to Florida with Frank Sinatra and learn down there.
Oh, awesome. Sean's great.
Going with the idea if I wanted to try a tattoo. So we were having dinner with some of the Loose Screw crew at that time, Daniel Farron and some other artists. And it got brought up that I might be looking for a tattoo apprenticeship, and he was like, well, let me talk to the shop. We have a meeting coming up. I'll talk to Jesse and the guys, and we'll see, what they say. And luckily they said yeah. So yeah, and after Daniel, Jesse definitely has a pretty big part of my apprenticeship and my learning. So yeah, it's been great.
Awesome. And so, did you start out like? Can you talk a little bit about what it took to like the transition? So obviously you couldn't have started a tattoo shit like this, but you could render it, but you couldn't start tattooing it.
Yeah, I started off with the mindset that this is a completely different medium. I know nothing about it, and I want to learn all I can. So we had a couple walk-in days throughout the week, and I just pretty much just took on whatever was coming through the door. Because I knew that would be the fastest way that I can learn how to handle the machine, how the skin works, voltage versus my hand speed, just figure it all out. And it was great. I think, everything, I learned something from everything that I can apply to a caricature. Like doing lettering helped me hone in on my line work. Watercolor helped me understand how to manipulate the ink. Traditional helped me understand how to get solid color packing, and all these things that I started pulling from different tattoos that were coming through the door definitely helped speed the process up to be able to do what I wanted ultimately, was going back to caricature again.
Cool. And I mean, obviously everybody's path is different. Everyone is in different studios, but for you, and they come in with different, like I said, skill levels. But for you, how long did that transition take? Was it a couple of years? Did you already have like a crew of people that wanted your artwork to be your guinea pigs, or did you like have to like tattoo Faith upside down for 15 years to? Well, clearly you haven't been tattooing 15 years, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as the apprenticeship went, I think I got the basics down, let's say about, I think it was like a year and a half, to where I was actually able to tattoo and make money. But it still took a few more years after that of figuring out, honing in, and cleaning things up, and even understanding what types of needles to use for what. Like when I first started, I was using buck pen needles for color, which for me was a wrong choice because it was very rough on the skin. So I switched to traditional. Just figure out all the things you need to work out, and yeah.
Awesome. And now we'll be chatting about that in your seminar. Wait, actually, before we talk about your seminar, let's catch some questions that are coming in from some of the artists. One of them is from Jason, and I hope I translate it right. What are some of your greatest challenges, or what is your greatest challenge when you're adapting your style of art to your tattoos?
Oh man, there's several. I think one challenge is just, it's not a flat piece of paper. You're working on somebody's body. So you have to understand how your image is going to warp around the figure and distort possibly. And that was a pretty good obstacle I had to, figure out. Reading Guy Aitchison's book, helped me a lot with that. Just about layout and design and how tattoos flow with the body and muscles, But I think that was a pretty good challenge at first. And then just figuring out, how to have clean lines. That was a little bit of an obstacle in the beginning too. That's why I just started focusing on lettering right away. I'm like, all right, well, I got to do lettering for a little while, so I would do nothing but that, just to make sure that I was getting, these lines accurate. And other challenges. I can't really think of anything else right now. But
well, maybe with as far as your style is concerned, I bet a lot of people, and I'm sure you're going to address it in your workshop. But like, how do you exaggerate like just enough, right? I mean, obviously you're exaggerating like just enough. Everything looks really cool, but it's still really recognizable. Is there any, I guess, is there any like bird's eye view thoughts about how to, gauge exaggerating just to the right amount?
I think it just depends on the artist. I mean, some caricature artists exaggerate far more than others because they built that ability to see it. I can only exaggerate what I see and how I see it. That's why you can get drawn by several caricature artists and every one would be different, but still exaggerated and squirrely, Yeah, I forgot the point that I was making.
I mean, it's like you were saying, I guess ultimately it's just up to everybody to kind of figure out where they're, what they're seeing in their head, I suppose, right? And, if what they're seeing in their head goes too far.
It's training too. It's like working out. I mean, if you stop exaggerating, you will lose it. You won't see things right away. But if you're exaggerating and trying to push and learn every day, you start seeing it more natural. To where you just go down the grocery store aisle and just laugh at somebody's face just because you think they're funny and nobody else will understand why, you know.
Awesome.
But you just train that visual, and then, you know, and also understanding relationships between features and how to push certain things. There are a little bit of rules that apply, or at least a base that applies to where you can recognize it and see it faster too.
Yeah. Are you a good realist also, or did you go through a phase where you learned different rendering techniques and then settled into caricature, or did you do it the other way around? It seems almost.
Well, I started off doing commercial art in school, and you know, it was a lot of realism. You know, black and gray pencil work, charcoal, stuff like that, even acrylic paintings. So I started doing that first, and then once I got the job at Bush Stars, it was pretty much down the street from the school I was at. And that's when I started learning the cartoon aspect and how to push and exaggerate. And you know, ultimately, I'm trying to push myself to have a little bit of both realism and cartoon into some of the tattoos that I'm doing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously you can see it. The rendering is what is like fantasy surrealism or some such. Like I said, it's awesome to see people with your skill level, make the full transition over to be able to, render this on the skin, on awesome clients.
Yeah.
Are there any things that you might be able to advise apprentices or apprentice wannabes? Wait, not a wannabe. That's not right. Apprentice hopefuls. And there's a lot of people that I see. They start tattooing themselves, or they're doing all sorts of things to try to get in. Maybe you have some good advice for them on how to attack their portfolios or their personalities or whatever to make them an attractive apprentice candidate.
Well, as far as being, you have to draw. You have to draw nonstop all the time. Have a portfolio. Know at least what kind of style that you're aiming toward. Because if I'm trying to do new school, I wouldn't apprentice under, black and gray realistic artist. I would want someone that's in the same style so I can relate it a little bit faster. So figure out what you're trying to go after. Try to apprentice underneath an artist that specializes in that, and work your ass off. It's not easy. It's a lot of work, and it's not just practicing to be an artist. I mean, you have to put your time in for the shop as well, and earn your keep. And I think as long as you keep your head down, you stay focused, and keep moving forward and pushing, you'll get there, before you know it.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, well, let's chat a little bit about your seminar that you have coming up at the Paradise BYOB. Now, we'll be doing this both in person there, but also we'll be breaking out the cameras to do the webcast. So that ticket, or both of those tickets, will be up soon. As soon as I'm done here, I'll be working on the schedule. But let's hear a little bit from you about what people could expect. Maybe what kind of artists this seminar will be good for.
Well, this is pretty much caricature 101, so I'm going to go over the bare bone basics. Everything. I break down every feature, how to draw a line for line. I talk about relationships between features, how to get a likeness, how to exaggerate, everything. There's a little zombie twist to it too, because I've been doing zombie caricatures for so long, and it all applies to caricatures in general. As far as like knowing the anatomy, muscles, what the muscles do, why they're there, what, bone structure, because all that needs to be exaggerated underneath the skin, so you have to be aware of what is going on in there, and everything from materials that I use to draw, like the live stuff and digital, and also, a little bit of tattoo technique, how I'm tattooing these things and applying it to the skin. It's interactive, so you do need to bring drawing materials with you. You will be drawing, I'll be critiquing, and I'll be drawing along with you guys. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun. We'll just be making fun of faces and having a good time.
Awesome, fantastic. Now, do you have any other topics that you think that we should address? I mean, we can probably go into some Jesse Smith. Do you have any funny stories about Jesse Smith?
Oh man, I don't know if there's any I'm allowed to say.
Okay, well, let's not go there then. But how about some tattoo conventions? Let's end it with maybe some other tattoo conventions. I imagine that you're hitting the Richmond convention because Jesse's one of the partners in it these days.
Yeah. So since COVID's been happening, I haven't been to a convention
Of
since.
course.
So I mean,
Yeah.
the Gathering will be the first event that I've worked since, and then also I
So
have Hell City lined up in Ohio, and that is, I think, March or
May
May.
May 20th to the 22nd, 2022. Cool. Yeah,
Yes,
but
I'll be
let's
out.
let's reminisce. Let's hear some of your good convention stories from before the lockdown.
Oh, some convention stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, a lot of drunken nights and crazy debauchery and
Uh oh.
artwork,
Okay.
tattoos, and yeah, it's all a blur, really.
Nice. What are some of the ones? Let's list off some of the places that you've traveled to.
Oh man, I mean, Hell City's definitely one of my favorites. I've been to both of those. The other one in Arizona as well, Phoenix. Um, Obviously the Richmond Tattoo Convention, and then you have Hampton Roads and Virginia Beach here in the area in DC. I mean, we've been everywhere. We used to travel up and down the East Coast pretty much full time doing the zombies. Um, so all the way down to Tattoo-Palooza in Miami to Texas. I mean, we've been around.
Awesome. And have you ever hit Europe?
I haven't hit Europe yet. We've been invited out there, but as caricature artists back then, when we were invited out there, it's like you don't make enough doing caricatures to cover the cost, so we
Sure.
couldn't really afford to go. But I mean, now as far as tattooing, yeah, we'd definitely love to get out there.
Cool. So if there's any of the international convention promoters out there, after you check out some of the streams from Paradise, obviously the seminars is another great way to help generate some revenue when you're traveling around a little bit. And but yeah, obviously you should be hitting the world as soon as we open back up again.
Yeah. Just love the opportunity to be able to give back and teach and help out. It's like the only way this art form is going to get better and bigger is if we learn from each other and push as hard as we can and get it there.
Oh, absolutely. The second or third, and maybe it was like the third or fourth, event that we were running, Paradise event, it was getting very heavy. Everyone was always, every year people were like, man, this is changing my life or changing my perspective. And after like 3 or 4 years, I'm like, how are we going to keep how do we keep producing this experience for people? And I did realize before I freaked out too much that it really is the interaction of people together with each other that makes that energy, makes that magic happen. Again, to your point, like the inspiration, and it'll be fun. As I'm sure you've already seen it in action, but like when you're teaching or when you're mentoring people, you could kind of watch those energies, ripple out and we're doing a lot of these streams. There's a lot of drawing groups. You could see somebody pick up something in one of the drawing groups, and then a week later, they're telling 3 or 4 other people, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, all of a sudden, there's 2 different drawing groups where that tip goes out, and it's pretty amazing. So watching the influence and helping the right people influence the right people is it's really a pleasure to be part of. So I'm really grateful that you're coming up to Paradise and your influence on people.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. It's gonna be a blast. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Sweet. Okay, well, let's close up. Once again, for the people that are catching this midstream or have skipped through the beginning because they wanted to get past all of the sponsored materials, I'm going to put you full on featured, and then if you let us know... Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, I'll get to this screen here so that you can just look straight into the camera, let people know the great ways to get in touch with you if they want to get tattooed by you or a caricature from you.
Yeah, I'm definitely. If you want to get tattooed or have a caricature done by me, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Nick Mitchell Hates You. You can also go through the website, loosescrewtattoo.com, or call the shop, and that'd probably be the fastest way if you're trying to get tattooed to get in with me. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Okay, now just